Hello. Many of you have been asking me when my child has joined the code camp, what is the next class? How are they going to progress through? I want to answer that question in this. So, we have what we call the student journey in the camp. This particular booklet gives detail in how your child is going to move through from the first class to higher classes within the Code Camp program at Code Academy. So it's called the student journey, the 7-year roadmap. We're looking at a child who has walked in with us at the age of 7. Let's say they are in primary 3. Their next 7 years, their digital journey with us. So right here, we have three uh, 4 particular tracks. We have the early starter track, P2, P3, where we want to build confidence for the child with computers, logic, and creativity. We have what we call the core track, a child who is coming in with us at the age from primary 4 to primary 6, and also senior 1 to senior 3. They're going for the core track, which is the main journey, and we want to develop strong digital foundations for this child, and computational thinking and progressive portfolios for them. The outcome basically here is to ensure that they have multi-project portfolios that demonstrate creativity and problem solving across the entire journey. The other entry point or track we have for students coming into us from senior 4 to senior 6, they do what we call the senior track. And here we look at job ready skills, real world systems, and having them to specialize at the end of the day. So right in here, they have to come up with a capstone project. They are set for internship within an IT entity, but also they develop what we call a career portfolio at the end of the day. Beyond senior 6, we want to look at industrial level expertise and innovation leadership for any particular student that is coming our way. So just to give you a brief insight in this entire roadmap, let's begin at year 1. Child walks in, early starter. We're going to talk about computer essentials. Computer essentials is giving your child the right foundations to do with how to function and operate a computer. From there, we want to talk about online essentials. How does your child operate safely on the internet without being scammed? How do we work with emails? How do we ensure that your child is safe on the internet? How do we do online research, which is really quite a topic of late? How do we work with Google Docs? How do we do collaboration online? And how do we be aware of scams on the internet? This is the thing that your child gets handy in the early classes. From there, we talk coding, where now we bring in Scratch from the beginner level. They begin to understand sequencing, logic, basic animation, storytelling with blocks, and the first interactive projects come out at this level for your child. Now that makes up for the early starter and the first year portfolio. Okay, so within the essentials, both online and computer essentials, your child will have to sit for an exam with the ICDL, and they have to get a certificate for that. In the next year, where we have the core track that begins at that point, we are talking about here logic with Scratch from intermediate and advanced, but also we want to talk about robotics at this stage. So there are 3 particular key levels here: Scratch, intermediate, and advanced. Want to talk about how do we do presentations that are better, that tell the story out there, but also how do we now bring in hardware in robotics and complement the code we have attained earlier on with hardware, and do a bit of robotics in there in a class, in a module we call Robotics 1, giving your child a step in that direction still. Year 2 for the early starter, but year 1 for the core track. Then we come in year 3, and we are talking about app development, We're talking about building applications that can be used on phones and a laptop. These things that help your child understand the app world. How do we develop, design, and create these applications at this stage? From there, we are going to talk about web design, and here we are going to be looking at web design 1 and 2, HTML, CSS, and Bootstrap, coming in handy at this level, but also as an entry point within the senior track. It's web design. Web design moves on to web design 2, where we're going to talk about JavaScript and React at this point in time. DOM manipulations, forms and validations, React components, and also state management basics. At this level, we're going to be talking about that within the web design 2. From there, now we move into Python, a high-level programming language that is very applicable across a number of areas. Your child is going to begin to talk Python at this point in time. Python gives them that particular edge in the industry, getting to dig in from Python beginners, intermediate to advanced at quite a speed. So 3 levels, Python beginners to advanced. From there, we're going to be talking about robotics too, where we're now using Python to program drones. How do I fly drones? How do I program drones and fly them using Python at this particular level? Beyond that, we want to still dig in and see that your child is able to work with various applications within the IoT segment. How do we build smart farms? How do we design a smart house? At this point, we're going to be talking about this now. At this stage, your child who came in at 7 years is probably in senior 1, is probably in senior 2 or senior 3 at this point in time, and they're even not yet at senior 4, but they're talking things guys at campus aren't talking and doing. So beyond that, we want to bring in, still under the Python foundation, we want to bring in data analysis, which remains to be a core area in our world today. How do we analyze data? How do we make sense of the data that we collect every single day? At that point, we shall be talking pandas and NumPy, data cleaning and pre-processing, but also we shall talk about charts and interactive reports coming through within that class for Python. Yes, so that brings up a bit of a summary of your child's journey in the camp, how they're going to progress through with us all through to the levels. Our intention is to prepare your child well enough to be able to do stuff in the IT space and make money early, even before they go to university, and that makes them far much better to have a skill even before they wait to finish university and their first degree. They can earn a skill at the academy every holiday that will set them apart from the crowds.